Controversial law got passed in Uganda, and it seems like everybody has an opinion about it. But what people don't ask is, do we have a right to judge another country's laws? Well, Dr. Michael Brown decided to tackle this controversial topic, and it's a dicey one, I'm going to admit to you, because this sounds kind of wild, all right? But let's jump into this clip from Dr. Michael Brown.
There has been tremendous criticism of a new law that actually has a death penalty for certain sexual crimes, including homosexual acts. Now, the president of Uganda said it's mainly is focused on those who are heterosexual, who engage in homosexuality to make money, etc.
Aha. Okay, so the law is there's deletion involved if you do that specific act, but apparently they're packaging it as if you are hetero and you are participating to make some money off of it. So they're hetero, but they then sell themselves to get paid, and so they don't want that happening. Interesting.
Etc. But obviously, massive controversy over the law and condemnation
Yes.
over the law.
Yes.
I am not here to defend the law. I simply want to point out the massive American hypocrisy in our attacking that law as if we were the icon for morality in America. We who export more around the world than any other nation.
Whoops.
We who have more single-parent homes around the world than any other nation.
Whoops.
We who have more than 60 million babies. There is a
Whoops.
lot of moral hypocrisy in us attacking that law. So I am not here to defend the law.
I love that he's making this point very clear. I am not here to defend this law either, ladies and gentlemen.
But I think you'll find this clip tremendously enlightening. Is a CNN journalist speaking to the president of Uganda.
Hey, this is a brand new shirt from our He is Him collection. Who is Him? Jesus is Him. Jesus is God. Jesus is the Savior. Jesus is King. He died and rose so we could be in right standing with God. And when we put this shirt on in the morning, it reminds us of just that and helps us make a statement to the rest of the world. So go to blessgod.shop and pick up yours today. Only available this Friday through Sunday only.
They do make it an issue. They have been making it an issue for many months now. Many in the international community are saying that by your signing of this bill, you're taking Uganda a step backwards, that you are not protecting the freedoms and the rights and the choices of the Ugandan people. So how do you respond to that? And specifically, President Obama has said he was deeply disappointed by Uganda's move and says that it would complicate US-Uganda relations. I've listened to everything that you've said in the statement. So how would you respond to that? And does it worry you? And have you spoken directly to President Obama?
The virtue signaling here is a bit much. You know, everyone's like, I can't believe it. Watch this response, though.
About this.
Well, we have been disappointed for a long time by the conduct of the West.
Whoa! We've been disappointed a long time by the conduct of the West. Interesting.
The way you conduct yourselves there. But we just keep quiet.
We just keep
see how
quiet.
we do things, how the families, how they are organized, all these things. We see them, we keep quiet. We never comment.
This man is based. Yo, all this like goofy, we need to, help people to overcome patriarchy and white supremacy and all this, and then you go over to parts of the world like Uganda and they don't play. Western Christians is the most tolerant.
We just see how you do things, how the families, how they are organized, all these things. We see them, we keep quiet. We never comment because it's not our country. Maybe you like it. So, since there's now an attempt at social imperialism.
Social imperialism. Woo-wee!
To impose social values of one group on our society, then our disappointment is now exacerbated because we are sorry to see that you live the way you live.
Because we are sorry to see the way that you live. Yo, this is amazing. This is amazing.
But we keep quiet about it. Now you say we must also live like us. That's why we say no. We say no. And, Am I worried? Not at all. Be worried about what?
Do whatever you
Because Chicago needs two people to dance. If the West doesn't want to work with us because of homosexuals, then we have enough space here to live by ourselves and do business with other people.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Now this is fascinating. Now this is goofy. Just to be very, very straight. This is goofy. Many people are in articles have been saying that Christian missionaries and Christian nationalists were responsible for influencing that current bill. Come on, man. Come on, man. This is, you know what this is? This is giving white folks too much credit. It's giving white Christians too much credit. And it's kind of insulting to assume that like Uganda can't think for themselves. Like they don't think, like go outside of the United States, man. It's not just Christians. Y'all got to stop with this white nationalist, Christian nationalist nonsense. It's not just Christian. You want to know what you want to know if it's sweet? Man, go over to China with that. Go over to Russia with that. Like, get out of here. This is crazy. Now, again, I am not saying that I think this is a good law. I think punishing somebody with a threat of deletion is not lit because decisions they want to do in their own home. It seems like with the way they're framing this is that this is something where they're attempting to mitigate people selling themselves for money, considering that they aren't in these relationships. And so they're coming down super hard. But this isn't new. Go to anywhere in the Middle East. Go to Saudi Arabia. Go to these places. This stuff isn't new. You can't fornicate in Saudi Arabia, right? And so we talk about being against colonialism, and he ironically points out that, well, this is, what did he call it, social colonialism? It's interesting. Now, again, where's the balance there, you know? But I think this whole notion that, like, Christian nationalism caused this is, fam, that is just completely...
That's goofy.
Yeah, I got to cut that out. That's silly. That's silly. So let's listen, hear Dr. Brown out on this.
What a term, social imperialism. Again, I'm not defending the law. I'm simply pointing out our American hypocrisy in condemning the law and not doing what Jesus says in Matthew 7, take the beam out of your own eye, the log out of your own eye, before you try to take the speck out of someone else's eye. Maybe a little more introspection is important. It's interesting, someone else asked.
I mean, listen, I'll be honest with you guys. Until we could figure out our own issues, until we could figure out our own education rates, until we could figure out our own wealth inequality rates, until we could figure out our own homeless rates, until we could figure out our own issues, I suggest perhaps we shouldn't be so judging of other countries and what they want to do with their own sovereignty. That's a thought.
Asked the question all about science, and the president said it's nature and nurture from what people say. He said he doesn't know of any scientist who would say that nature only, in other words, genetics only determine whether someone is gay. He said, we're trying to take the nurture away. And then he mentioned the bishops. You know, is this something that the religious people are fighting for? And he said, I don't listen to the bishops. This is what he...
So, like, this don't seem like a Christian thing in Uganda. Doesn't seem like this is a Christian thing in Uganda. It seems like this is a Uganda thing in Uganda. So let's not backdoor that this is some sort of Christian law. You can't blame Christians for everything.
He said they're the ones that killed Christ. He said, look at, in other words, the religious people. He said, they're the ones that killed Christ. He said, if I agree with them, fine, but I don't listen to the bishops. He said, I'm just using my own logic. He said, you have two identical twins, and one of them is but is not. He said, a lot of it is nurture, the environment they're raised in, and we're trying to take the nurture part away. And certainly, when it comes to pushing back against indoctrinating children, I'm absolutely with Uganda in doing that, in terms of pushing back against the indoctrination of children with an activist LGBTQ agenda, or with businesses putting them under pressure. Yeah, I'm against that, all right? Make that clear as well. In any case, I thought it was just worth getting that perspective, because you just look at, well, they're just bigoted, hateful, mean-spirited people, and they're just savages doing what they're doing. Well, here the president's saying, you know, there are two sides to these stories here. Okay, once more, for the critics, I'm not defending the Uganda law.
I like that he repeatedly said he's not defending the Uganda law. But yeah, I mean, listen, 60 million babies deleted. I think we should, we might want to tread lightly when we're talking about other people's sovereignty and what they want to do. What do you guys think about this law? I think it's a bit extreme if I'm being honest. Like if you just ask me, I think that people who sin, okay, as shouldn't be deleted for sinning. That's my opinion, generally speaking. And I would say the guy who's, sleeping with his girlfriend, that's a sin too. The guy who's telling his girlfriend that they're married in their heart, that's a sin too. The guy that's licking a corn, that's a sin too. The guy, and then the guys that are, into this sort of stuff, that's also sin. I don't think those folks should be deleted, right? All sexual sin is bad. So I would say that the law seems a bit extreme. Now, if they're saying they're doing this to combat the selling of oneself in that entire world, okay, I guess I could kind of see that. And I think I would say that's the temperament of most people in America. Like, just leave the kids out of it. You don't need to tell our kids that it's the same as your relationship, right? That's a whole nother issue we're dealing with here. Spiritual issues can't be solved with laws. Well, I mean, then why not legalize full-on murder? Why not legalize, right? Why not legalize meth and doing it in public? I mean, places have tried, right? All the decriminalization of stuff in San Francisco and in Oregon. How's that worked out? So I'm with you that some spiritual issues can't be solved with laws, but there are laws that do exist for a reason. We have speed laws, speed limits, right?
Hey, this is a brand new shirt from our He is Him collection. Who is Him? Jesus is Him. Jesus is God. Jesus is the Savior. Jesus is King. He died and rose so we could be in right standing with God. And when we put this shirt on in the morning, it reminds us of just that and helps us make a statement to the rest of the world. So go to blessgod.shop and pick up yours today. Only available this Friday through Sunday only.